Hello and welcome back. With us being in the month of Christmas, I figured I'd cover an old childhood favorite of mine that's just perfect for this time of year. An episode from the 80s Twilight Zone series titled The Night of the Meek. This is the remake version, though the original has a special place in my heart as well. This is actually the first version I was ever introduced to, but I figured I'd cover a special story for this special time of year. Our story starts off in a bustling department store during the Christmas season. Mr. Dundee is questioning Henderson about the whereabouts of Henry Corwin, their department store Santa. Henderson, trying to keep the peace, says he just went on break, and Mr. Dundee remarks that Corwin is likely out tying one on, letting us in on the fact that Corwin is known to have a drinking problem. Corwin is, in fact, at a nearby bar, drinking as kids knock on the glass, trying to get Santa's attention. Corwin speaks out loud about how it's sad that kids like that won't have a real Santa tonight. Another patron asks why he won't go out and give the kids a moment of his time, considering he's dressed up as Santa. Corwin says it would be cruel. During their neighborhood's current tough times, it's more likely than not that none of these kids will be getting any gifts at all this year. As he asks the bartender to put another drink on his tab, the bartender says due to the shortage of money in the neighborhood, they can't run tabs anymore, and all drinks are cash only. As Corwin gets up to leave, he finds money in his Santa costume, almost as if it appeared by magic. The bartender asks if he wants another shot, but Corwin declines, saying that he really needs to get back to work. Corwin then takes the $2 he found in his pocket and gives $1 each to the two children waiting outside to speak to Santa. Corwin walks back to Dundee's department store with the cold wind passing right through his Santa outfit. Dundee is seen arguing with an employee who sold a custom coat that was on hold for his wife. The employee continues to apologize, but Dundee continues to dig in, becoming more and more upset. Corwin returns late from his break, stumbling into Dundee's department store. Corwin struggles to get the chain unhooked so he can sit down and resume his job. Just after finally freeing the chain from the hook, Dundee calls out to Corwin, calling him Santa to keep up the character in front of the line of waiting children. Corwin, surprised, turns, dizzy from a few too many doses of Christmas cheer, and he stumbles into a Christmas display, taking a few bystanders with him. Dundee and the store staff help customers to their feet. Dundee confronts Corwin, asking him if he's been drinking. The smell of alcohol is all the proof Dundee needs, and Corwin doesn't deny it. He admits he had some shots on his break and apologizes for the ruckus. Dundee, already aggravated by the selling of his wife's one-of-a-kind coat, fires Corwin in front of a group of children, telling him that he hopes he's happy disappointing all the boys and girls. Corwin, saddened by the state of the neighborhood, tells Dundee that tomorrow all these kids are going to be disappointed, and that it doesn't matter what they say to some guy in a red suit. Most of them are going to wake up to nothing under their tree, and how most of them are here because it's the only bit of Christmas cheer they'll get, and that he drinks to deal with the sadness of it all. He wishes Mr. Dundee a Merry Christmas before being walked out by security. Later that night, Corwin continues to drink his sadness away. He goes to toss out his empty booze bottle and take out the trash when the sound of Christmas carolers can faintly be heard. Corwin walks over and opens his window, listening to the carolers sing merrily below. When they finish, Corwin says with a smile that he wishes to God he had something to give them. But all the kids in the group say Merry Christmas all at once, all with smiles on their faces. Corwin smiles and tells them Merry Christmas back before shutting the window, and he continues to take out the trash. He walks out into the cold and wind. He hears the sound of sleigh bells passing over him in the night. He hears a rustling in the bag, and thinking it's a rat, Corwin tosses the bag down, only for a small motorized toy to drive out onto the sidewalk. Corwin looks on amused but confused, saying he never threw away any toys. He bends down to see something else sticking out of his trash bag. He pulls on the item, only to see it's a big stuffed leopard. Amazed, Corwin reaches into the bag again and pulls out a brand new stereo. Confused, he reaches in again and pulls out a giant lollipop. He runs down the street laughing, yelling out to the kids caroling, telling them that he has presents for them. He runs down the block, trash bag in hand, waving frantically to get the carolers' attention. Back at Dundee's department store, a security guard tells Mr. Dundee Merry Christmas as he goes to leave. Dundee only replies goodnight as they pass. His bah humbug attitude on his sleeve, he even kicks a lit-up Christmas tree display, causing it to short out before entering the elevator. As Dundee drives home, he notices the poor neighborhood is now lively and bustling. Strange for any night, but especially strange for a Christmas Eve night. He decides to follow the people, who were all running in the same direction. Dundee is shocked to see the neighborhood adorned with Christmas lights and decorations. He parks his car and walks to the building where all the people seem to be going in and out of, shocked at the sight of their Christmas cheer. He enters the building and drifts through the crowds of people. He sees Corwin talking to a resident of the neighborhood. He asks what he can get for her, and the woman says she would love a new alarm clock so she can get up for work in the morning. Corwin looks into the bag and pulls out a brand new clock radio and hands it to the woman. She's delighted, and the crowd gasps and claps in continued amazement. Next, a young girl asks for a new pair of glasses that will make her look more hip and cool. The girl's mother says she doesn't think he'll have glasses, especially ones that will work with her prescription. Corwin pulls out a pair of glasses in a case and hands them to the girl. She puts them on, and to her and her mother's amazement, they're exactly what the little girl asked for. Dundee is taken aback watching this display of Christmas cheer, and how Corwin's acts of goodwill seem like works of magic. Henderson even shows up and says they're running out of eggnog for all the lovely people who've been showing up, and again, Corwin reaches into the bag and pulls out a fresh jug of eggnog. Henderson laughs and says, "Thanks, Santa," before going back to the party. Dundee, thinking that Corwin stole these items, goes to confront him. He questions where all this merchandise came from. Corwin says it isn't merchandise, it's presents. He says he's afraid to stop and think how it's possible because he might lose the magic of it. Dundee, convinced Corwin stole all this stuff from his store, goes to call the police. 2 cops show up in complete amazement of the decorations and Christmas cheer in one of the most downtrodden neighborhoods in the city. The police question where Corwin got all the items, and Dundee says he only could have gotten them from his store, saying that Corwin has been their Santa for the last few weeks and must have stolen all these items during his drunken stupors. The police ask if he has receipts or any proof of how he got these items. Corwin says it's Christmas magic and that he has no proof. The cops say they might have to confiscate the items until they can figure out what's going on. They tell Corwin to follow them, but Henderson notices a receipt on the ground. He grabs it and notices the bag is dropping bundles of receipts. Henderson rushes over and stops the cops from taking Corwin, showing them the bundles of receipts. Dundee looks at the receipts in disbelief, saying that they can't be real. Corwin reaches into the bag and says yes it can, because it's Christmas, before taking piles of receipts out of the bag and tossing fistfuls of them into the air. As Christmas morning breaks, Dundee sits on the stoop confused. He tells Corwin he's going to figure out what happened here, holding the fistful of receipts in his hand, only to have them poof away like magic. Corwin pulls Dundee's hand over to him and tells him that these gifts didn't come from his store. Dundee asks, if not from his store, then where did they come from? Corwin says to never question Christmas miracles before pulling out the one-of-a-kind custom coat Dundee was holding for his wife, magically now making it 2 of a kind. Dundee accepts the coat in shock, but Corwin isn't done yet. He produces a baseball signed by Mickey Mantle and the entire 1961 Yankees team. Dundee asks if the signatures are real with a look of shock on his face. Corwin giggles and says that he bets they are. Dundee smiles and starts to laugh. Dundee stands up and notices the magic trash bag is now empty. He asks Corwin why he didn't get a gift, and Corwin smiles, saying that being able to do this was the greatest gift he could have ever asked for. He only wishes he could do this every year. Before wishing Mr. Dundee a Merry Christmas, he goes into his apartment. Corwin enters his house and tries to take off the snow-white beard, only to find it's no longer fake. He looks down and notices his red suit and hat are fresh and brand new. Corwin dances a jig in excitement. He looks down at the chimney and says he's excited but always wondered how Santa fits in such a small area. He giggles and cheers as he turns into a puff of Christmas magic himself and rushes up the chimney with a ho-ho-ho. He gives New Yorkers one last Christmas gift in the form of a jolly Christmas morning snowfall. And for the first time in a long time, even Dundee himself believed in Christmas miracles. And that wraps up the Night of the Meek. It's warm, it's hopeful, and it reminds us that Christmas isn't about the stuff we get, it's about the kindness we give. I hope this brought a little Christmas nostalgia your way, and honestly, taking a break from all the doom and gloom felt really nice for once. It was great to just tell a story that hits you right in the feels. I want to say a special thank you to all the channel members, and thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, stay cozy, stay safe, and have yourself a very Merry Christmas.